You're wearing my mask.
I know. Look at us matching.
And you know what? This was not planned.
Not planned at all.
And last month we both wore leopard print.
Not planned.
And that was not planned. That's just how in sync you and I are together.
Thinking about the same things.
That's what good friends do.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right.
And we want to say thank you to Joanna Wasden.
She has a friend at Bryant Elementary who made these for us. So thank you, Joanna, for introducing us to your teacher friend. Well, Spence, roll it.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pages for All Ages. I'm Leah Godwin from Fitzgerald Elementary.
And I'm Nitza Campos from Pope Elementary.
And we have a lot of wonderful books to share with you today. I'll go first, and my first book is a picture book, The Music of Life by Lewis Thomas. What a great reminder to be quiet and listen to the sounds all around us. At night, when it is late and quiet, you can be sure that an artist is awake, because artists love to create at night. Lenny is just such an artist. In fact, he is a music composer. He tells his beloved cat, Pippo, "I am going to write a symphony tonight." But all through the night, he couldn't think of anything to write, and he was feeling stuck, and nothing came to mind for hours. He was starting to feel sick and stuck when suddenly he heard little Pippo, lick, lick, lick. And then he ran to his blank page to write it down, and then he heard the sink go plick, pluck, pluck. "It's not a symphony, but it feels like music," he said, and he heard the birds go tweet, tweet, tweet. And it continues, and he hears the sounds all through the night and the next morning. And he realizes that there's music all around as he hears a bell go ting, 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 and the dogs go woof, woof, woof. And he realized that he should go outside. And in the very end, he is conducting his own symphony that he has written down with those noises in the park. A beautiful picture book with watercolor sketches, and I think Lewis Thomas did a great job with the story and the illustrations. Just a fun book to remind us that music is all around, and maybe inspiration is all around too.
Share that with your music teacher.
I definitely will.
Well, my first book is The Incredibly Dead Pets of Rex Dexter by Reynolds. It is a middle grade book appropriate for students in grades 4 through 7. And it is a bluebonnet book for the 2021-2022 school year. Oh, poor Dex. He desperately wants a dog, and I mean desperately. However, his parents don't think he's responsible enough for a dog, so for his birthday, they got him a chicken. To quote our disappointed friend Rex, "A chicken isn't a pet, Dad. A chicken is a Happy Meal." I know. Rex doesn't have any supplies for his new pet chicken and has to go to Pet Planet with his best friend Darvis, who just so happens to have 4 dogs. So he has to go to Pet Planet to get everything one would need to care for a chicken. And on his way across Bye Bye Plaza to go to Pet Planet, he spies an old carnival game. It has a joystick, buttons, and a life-size Grim Reaper in its glass case. It's called The Reaper's Curse. Who wouldn't want to play that? Win the game and your wish is granted. Lose and suffer the Reaper's Curse. Sound familiar? What movie does that sound like, Leah? It's the movie with Tom Hanks?
Big?
Yes, you are correct, my friend. Although Darvish thinks the movie might be called Tall or Large. Anyways, We can all guess what Rex's wish is, and all he has to do is follow the coin under the cups. You know, where you have the 3 cups, and they put the coin and they mix the cups all around. So, easy, right? Wrong. Rex loses, and he receives a very specific curse. Then our disappointed friend sees that his chicken has been squashed paper thin by a steamroller. He's only had the chicken for 1 hour and 14 minutes. Rex's parents don't think he's faring awfully well in the pet responsibility department. Don't know what gave them that idea. Anyway, he begins to see the ghost of his pet chicken, who now wants a name. So, Drumstick it is. But that's not all. Zoo animals that have died start showing up and talking to Rex. Zoo animals that have died under suspicious circumstances. We have a gorilla with a shark on its bottom, a rhino, an elephant, and a panda. It's up to Rex to solve the mystery of their deaths. So hopefully these animals can move forward towards the light and into the afterlife, and maybe, just maybe, convince his parents he will be a responsible dog owner, preferably an owner of a chocolate Labrador. Now, Rex had me laughing out loud from beginning to end, and just the summary has my beautiful friend Leah laughing. I was in stitches. It's a super funny book that kids will gobble up. The book does have a smattering of illustrations throughout, and I will show those to you. First, look at my cute little Alice in Wonderland stickers.
Oh, those are cute.
I know, they're so cute. So there is the game right there. Oh, there's Drumstick. And then I had to show this one. Oh, I thought I had another one. Oh, well. This one has a bunch of the, not a bunch, but it has a couple of the animals, and there's the gorilla with the shark on his bottom. So book 2, which is titled Narwhal I'm Around, comes out May 4th. Hope you got that. Already have it on pre-order. I know, it is utterly ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous.
It is so much fun. Like, you will have tears running down your face. So much fun.
My next book is Amy Wu and the Perfect Bow by Kat Zhang and illustrated by Charlene Chua. This is a lovely picture book, and I absolutely love Amy Wu. Amy can do a lot of things. She can brush her teeth and dance at the same time and tie her shoes. But she cannot make the perfect bow like her parents or her grandmother. Now, a bow is a steamed bun with filling inside. And I thought at first it might be something like a dumpling, but it is not. It is actually a steamed bun. Amy always made her bow with a lot of filling or not enough filling or too much. And when she realizes that the dough for the bow is cut for a grown-up's hands, she asks her grandma to cut the dough smaller for her little hands. So, Amy rolls out the dough, adds just the right amount of filling. She gives the dough a pinch, 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 and there she has the perfect bow. She makes another, and still more, and then Grandma boils the water to steam the bow. Amy keeps a watchful eye on the steamer, and when the steam clears and she can see inside, she sees her perfect bow and also the not-so-perfect bow. She eats the perfect fluffy bow with just the right filling, and it is so good. And she also eats the not-so-perfect bow, and it tastes good too. And in the end, you see her sharing her bow with her friends at school. Kat Zhang has another book about Amy Wu titled Amy Wu and the Patchwork Dragon. You can see Kat Zhang also reading her books on YouTube. And I want to show you just how cute Amy Wu is. Here's her little kitty in the front, and these are bow. And you say it just like bow, not like bow. It is bow. And I think she's so cute picking up over the table there. And she's very talented and does a lot of things. But this is her nemesis. Dun, dun, dun. The perfect bow. She can't do it. And sometimes they come out too big, sometimes they fall apart. And so she has a plan to make the perfect bow. And she talks to her grandmother, and of course they make it. And then here at the end, this is so cute. She's waiting for the bow to be cooked, and she's reading her book and keeping her eye on it, but her book is upside down. And then here she is in the cafeteria passing out her cooking creation to her friends. And if you look right here, even a teacher has one. So really cute book, really cute characters. Her grandma is very sweet. So it's a must for every library, I think.
That little kitty cat is so cute.
It really is.
So cute.
And I don't have Amy Wu and the Patchwork Dragon, but it is on order, of course.
Of course. All right. My next book is Honeybee by Candace Fleming. It is illustrated by Eric Rohmann. It is a non-fiction picture book. And this book received the Robert F. Sibert Informational Book Medal. It was a gold medal. First, I want to explain the Robert F. Sibert Award. It is awarded annually to authors and illustrators of the most distinguished informational book published in the U.S. Usually you have a gold medal winner and then a few honor winners. We will put the link to the award page in the description box below. In case you didn't know, Spence, we're doing that. It's a great resource for educators. Honeybee is written in free verse, which makes it very different from the traditional nonfiction book. It begins with a honeybee, or Apis mellifera, chewing her way through the wax cap of her cell. And just take in that beautiful illustration. She eats and eats and eats. She is growing strong. Is she ready to fly? Not yet. Every page ends in a question regarding if she is ready to fly, and the following page answers, not yet. That's for the first 25 days of her life. Then, in this magnificent 4-page spread, you see her take her first flight. I'm hoping we can get that all in camera. Thousands of others join her, and it's time to search for water, collect plant sap, or gather pollen. She will do this day after day until she grows thinner and slower. She loses her hair and her wings become tattered and frayed. She will only live for another 10 days after her first flight, and then she will drop to the ground and pass away. She will have visited thousands of flowers, collected enough nectar to make 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey, and flown 500 miles. The illustrations are stunning. I wish I could show you every single illustration so we can drool over them together. But I will show you just a couple of more because it is such a beautiful book. Look at this. And the back of the book has a diagram of the honeybee, and then there is information about how to help honeybees and more information regarding honeybees. It is a book that every library needs to have. If you have a little scientist in your home, this is definitely a book to have. This is something you could just look at the pictures over and over and over again. Have you seen this, Leah?
I have seen that. It's a beautiful book.
It is gorgeous.
And it was really all the buzz of one of the workshops that we went to about nonfiction books.
Yes, it was. It was
all the buzz.
All the buzz.
See what I did there?
I did. You're so smart, my friend. But we will link to the Robert F. Sibert Award down at the bottom in the description box. Please use that, educators, for our science teachers, or just to add some beautiful nonfiction books to your classroom collection.
My
Over to
next
you.
book is a biography, and it is Selena, Queen of Tejano Music by Sylvia Lopez and illustrated by Paola Escobar. It is an illustrated biography, and what a beautifully illustrated biography of Selena Quintanilla and her rise to stardom. Selena started singing using a hairbrush as a microphone and singing around her house. She began singing with her family's band at the age of 9. This biography recounts her family traveling to go to gigs all over the state of Texas. People said that Selena would never make it in the world of Tejano music because it was an industry dominated by male talent, and Selena set out to prove them all wrong. She did not speak, nor did she sing in Spanish, but with the help of her father, she learned to sing it. With songs written and composed by her older brother and her winning combination of fun dance steps and her own signature fashion, Selena and her family band made it big. Soon, Selena y los Dinos rose to stardom. Her success in Tejano and American pop music made Selena a trailblazer for other Latinx entertainers. And this is beautifully done. You can see that the cover is just gorgeous. And they do a lot of really fun illustrations with a little bit of information up here. I won't show you all the pictures. Here she is working in her studio, making up her own fashions. And she did open her own business and had a boutique for a while. And sadly, her life came to a very tragic end because of that business. But just the beautiful pictures in here. The illustrator is very good. There is a timeline of her rising to success and then having her own business and striking out on her own and crossing over into American pop from Tejano music. There's a little more about Tejanos and Hispanics and Tejano or Tex-Mex music. There's a little bit of information about quinceañeras, and then the tragedy that befell Selena when her life was taken by her business manager for her boutique. And then in the end, I think the end papers are beautiful. Here it has just a microphone with a spotlight, and then a microphone, a spotlight, and roses in memory of Selena. And the whole time I read this book, I was thinking, bitty bitty bum bum. So great read. I think anybody that picks it up will really enjoy it. I know the counselor at my school is a big Selena fan, and she saw this book and was ready to take it away from me. I told her I needed it just a little bit longer.
I remember the day hearing about her passing away. I remember that day very well. My next book is Fatal Throne, The Wives of Henry VIII, Tell All. It is written by several authors. We have M.T. Anderson, Jennifer Donnelly, Candace Fleming, Stephanie Hemphill, Deborah Hopkinson, Linda Sue Park, and Lisa Ann Sandell. It is a young adult book. Now, this book came out in 2018, but it has so many fantastic authors contributing to it that I just had to read it. Also, I did not know that much about Henry VIII's last 4 wives. I mean, I know more about the first 2, so this kind of gave me some more knowledge. So in this book, a different author takes on a first-person account of each wife of Henry VIII and of King Henry VIII himself. We have the well-poised Catherine of Aragon, told by Candace Fleming, and Candace Fleming also wrote Honeybee. The Cunning and Doomed Anne Boleyn is written by Stephanie Hemphill. We then have Lisa Sandell's Sweet Jane Seymour and King Henry VIII's most treasured wife. Jennifer Donnelly's Anna of Cleves is told from her deathbed as she recalls her unhappy marriage. Linda Sue Park gives voice to an ill-equipped, naive, teenaged Catherine Howard. Poor thing. And we then have Deborah Hopkinson's Catherine Parr, who became too confident and bold. After each wife speaks, we have M.T. Anderson's King Henry VIII give us his view of how he was wronged or why he had to do what he did. I was fascinated by how the authors decided to speak for each wife, because each wife has a unique and distinct voice. It was just very interesting on how they decided to start each story and how they went about it. Now, if you already know a whole lot about King Henry VIII and his wives, you're probably not going to learn anything new here. If you're looking for new information, then this book isn't for you. But if you want a masterfully done first-person point of view retelling, this is what you need. It is wonderful. If you don't know a lot about King Henry VIII's queens, you will learn, just like I did, some really great information. I just think the premise of this is brilliant. Fatal Throne does provide a Tudor timeline and a who's who in the court at the back of the book. Now, this cover is exquisite, and actually the cover of the paperback is equally as exquisite. It is just a beautiful book to add to any collection, but I loved it.
My next book is Love, Love by Victoria Chang. And it is a novel written in verse. And what a beautiful novel written in verse this is. I think I have a thing for novels written in verse since I read The Canyon's Edge by Dusty Bowling. That book just really hooked me there. This is the story of a young Chinese-American girl who has to deal with bullies, growing up in the shadow of a sister with a mysterious disease, and parents that expect so much from her and sometimes ignore her because of her sister's disease. Frances Chen is 11, and she is struggling to grow up in the suburbs of Detroit. She, along with her best friend Annie, who is the best to her Nancy Drew, is determined to find out the mystery of her sister's hair loss. After she deals with bullies that steal her sister's wig and she reads what her sister is dealing with in her diary, she solves the mystery. It is very interesting that the story is written mainly in verse, except for Frances's hair dreams. It is a fascinating book, and I'll show you here. The first part of the book is written in verse, and then it is not written in verse. It is more prose when she has her hair dreams. And I found that very interesting, and it really worked well for the book because while she was writing in verse, she was active, she was going places, she was dealing with other people, but then the hair dreams, of course, were just her dreams alone at night, and it was more a straight kind of linear story. Now, the mystery of what's wrong with her sister, I was thinking all along that her sister might have alopecia. However, her sister was dealing with quite a lot of stress and was very anxious, and she was pulling out her own hair. And when they solved the mystery of her sister's hair loss, they found out that it was due to anxiety and a condition that's called, I don't remember what it is. Spence, can you help me out with that? Okay, and it's just a really good book. Also, there is a lot about tennis in here. That is why it is Love, Love. Frances would go and hit tennis balls by herself against a wall, and a tennis coach found her, and so there's a whole other story. And I thought the main story was her sister and kind of dealing with that. So, beautiful book.
My next book, oh, it's so cute. It's called Playing Possum by Jennifer Black Reinhardt. It is a picture book. First, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Amy Haynes for recommending this book, and I'm so glad that you did. And let's just look at that sweet cover. I just love his little pink cheeks, nose, and ears, and the little bunny on the back. I'm going to show it right there. Has bows on her ears. it just is so whimsical and lovely. So first, let me get to my number 1 right here. Alfred is a possum, and when possums feel nervous, they freeze and play dead. Well, unfortunately for Alfred, he is a nervous possum. And just look at his sweet little face there. Alfred does not like being the center of attention. He was not very good at sports, and making friends was complicated. Here he is, trying to make friends. And one day, Alfred notices an armadillo named Sophia. Now, armadillos curl up into a ball when they feel nervous, and meeting new people can be scary. After some time, when they calm down, they stare at each other and realize they have something in common. Knowing they had something in common made them feel safe around each other. Now, when Sophia curled up, Alfred just waited. When Alfred froze, Sophia just waited. And I love this picture of them just being patient with each other as they work through their nervousness. They soon discovered they have something in common with other animals who felt afraid. There's a fainting goat, a porcupine, a skunk, a hedgehog, a pufferfish who looks amazing in a bowler hat, a chameleon octopus, and tortoise. Alfred and Sophia show these others kindness, patience, understanding, and forgiveness. And making friends becomes easier, and so does a lot of other things. I just want to show that picture at the end. And at the back of the book, Jennifer Reinhardt gives us a page about truth and imagination. She tells where she took a few liberties, how most of the animals would never hang out, etc. She also provides a glossary about the animals you will see in this book. And I have to say, y'all, it's killing me that I cannot share every single illustration with you. They are just the sweetest, and there's so much detail in every single illustration. Spend some time poring over this book. And this is a great social, emotional book to have in a classroom library, in a library, in a home library. I love this book so much. There are no words. Like,
the cover is very sweet.
It is so sweet. So sweet. Over to you, my friend.
My next book is 3 Keys by Kelly Yang. It is a middle grade novel. I read it. You know, last show I brought the book but did not remember a thing about it. And now I know that I did not read it because this is a memorable book. It is the continuation of Front Desk by Kelly Yang. And may I just say, I love Mia Tang. What a great kid. Having said that, I probably would really love to know Kelly Yang since these books are semi-autobiographical. In this book, the Tang family, along with other investors, are now the new owners of the Cala Vista Motel. The people living there are very diverse with different characteristics, family makeup, and challenges, but it is very much a family. Hank, that you'll remember from the other book, becomes the marketing manager and tries to find great new ways to promote the motel. And of course, Mia and Loopy also have ideas of their own, and they too are working hard at the hotel. That is the continuing background story, but there are other elements woven throughout. Mia, Loopy, and Jason are beginning 6th grade and have to deal with prejudice, racism, and bullies. Mia begins a discussion group during recess called Kids for Kids. And in this group, the students get to know each other and the concerns and challenges that they all face. All 3 friends are coming of age and have their own challenges. Jason is a great cook and wants to go to culinary school, but his father thinks that that is a step down. It is not advancing forward into the American dream. You remember Mr. Yao from the first book. Mia is striving to make a difference in her home and in her class by being an advocate for what is right. And Lupe is facing the possibility that her mother may not return from her grandmother's funeral in Mexico because of immigration laws, and her father was jailed for being an undocumented immigrant. This is a great book filled with characters you know and love, or you will learn to love, with a lot of story intros to discussion of important topics that are in our world today. What is the significance of the title? Does it mean 3 keys to 3 rooms? Does it refer to the 3 friends, Mia, Lupe, and Jason? Or the 3 keys of friendship? You got to listen, you got to care, and you got to keep trying. Be on the lookout for the 3rd book in the Front Desk series, Room to Dream, on September 21st, 2021. And Kelly Yang wrote the best afterward in this book, her acknowledgments, and she talks about, well, I'm sorry, not her acknowledgments, just a minute. Her author's note, she talks about actually living in a hotel and working in the hotel, and how there was a lot of controversy about legal status of different people that live there, and talking about whether her parents felt like she was becoming too American, or people that were Chinese thought she wasn't Chinese enough, or she was too Chinese. It was just a wonderful book and great for discussions, I think. So,
Well, Kelly Yang is amazing. I already have the 3rd book on pre-order.
do you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to read the 3rd book. Have you read this one? You have?
I have not read that one yet.
It's really good. And I love Hank. He's one of the guys that works at the hotel, and he's such an advocate for the kids to stand up for themselves. I thought that was wonderful.
Well, my next book is Flying High, the story of gymnastics champion Simone Biles. It is by Michelle Meadows, and it is illustrated by Ebony Glenn. It is a biography. When you say Simone Biles, the first image that comes to my mind is a powerhouse gymnast at the 2016 Olympics. That's where I first saw her and quickly became enchanted by her focused yet bubbly personality. She has one of those smiles that lights up a room and an energy that can make anyone turn their frown upside down. It is almost bewitching. And in this picture book, we see Simone's early challenges with foster care, being separated from her siblings and then adopted by her biological grandparents. Let me get to my first page. Sorry, it's a little sticky there. From an early age, she is climbing up on shoulders, bouncing off walls, flipping on couches, dangling, swinging, and jumping on the trampoline. It is when an outdoor trip is canceled due to rain that her brother suggests going somewhere else. It is here where her dream is born. She had aspirations to join the national team, but she missed it by 1 spot. She had come in 14th. Yes, she was crushed, but love pulled her through, and she went back into the gym working harder and longer. She prepares for her next meet where she is taking top scores. When something goes wrong, she gets right back up and finishes. I love this picture just really quickly. It does show her falling from the top bar, but she does not stomp off. She is determined to finish, and she gets back up and does it again. And she does make it to the 2016 Olympics, where she won 5 medals, with 4 of them being gold. The back of the book has some back matter, which includes facts, a couple of family photos, her family, and her introduction to gymnastics, and some sources. She is an inspiration to everyone who has a dream. No matter what life throws at you, get back up and try again. If you have a dream, you need to work at it. I cannot wait to see what she has in store for us at the upcoming Olympics. I am a huge Simone Biles fan, and it's not because of her gymnastics. It's her focus, it's her work ethic, it's that smile of hers. I mean, I just love her. I like to go look her up on Instagram every once in a while. But this is a fantastic book, especially to teach kids that things are not always going to go your way. You're not going to always succeed in the first try, but that does not mean you give up on your dream. You continue to strive for what you want and keep working at it. She is an inspiration to not just children, but I think also to adults. Love that book. Just happened to find it walking around in Target, and I just had to have it because it had Simone Biles on the cover.
Well, it has a beautiful cover,
It does have a beautiful cover. It does sparkle. Like, it does have a sheen to it, and it sparkles a little bit with her.
Well, I think that's all the books we have today.
That is all we have today. Although I do have more, and I had to make some tough choices.
I have 3 more also. I had to. There's an underwear book coming up next time.
I know you love underwear. Well, my friends, that's it for us today on Pages for All Ages, and we will see you next month. Bye.
Bye.